So welcome back, and it's time to look into the tools I would need to start on this project of converting my podcast into an AI. And I want to do a really good AI chatbot, not just Googling into the transcripts of the podcast. That's already available today. I want a chatbot that can help me go behind what's actually said in the podcast and make connections between these 350 episodes to take on the roles of specific guests in a mock-up debate between two or more of them, for instance, or some other things. I have these visions about that, and I have almost a year to do it. So this is the early beginnings. And I want to explore now in this video what type of tools do I need to get started. And the first thing I've realized that I need is I need to be able to run Python scripts on my computer. Now, I don't know how to do that. So, of course, the first thing you do is you look at how to install Python on a Mac. And this should be very straightforward. So I will basically do this. I will install Python on the Mac, and then I will be able to run these scripts. And with Python, I will be able to automate a bunch of the tasks that I think that I need to perform in order to be able to eventually train this model. For instance, the first things I need to do is to download all the episodes of the podcast. I have them on different hard drives and in different Dropbox folders all over the place, but I want to do it in a more coherent way, and I want the files to be named and indexed and so on. I also want to create a database containing all the metadata concerning each episode, and a lot of that metadata is already existing in what's called the RSS feed of the podcast. That's how podcasts are organized, and I will come to that in a later video. So with Python, I can basically tell my computer to perform a bunch of tasks and automate those. Download the episode, put the episode in a specific folder, add a row to an already existing database, fill that row with metadata from that episode, so on and so forth. So the first step is to make my computer capable of doing those things by installing the Python runtime environment. I will follow the instructions. It's not that hard, so I will not show that in the video. But once you've done that, you need a decent text editor. And the one I've chosen, because I've worked with it for many years, is called Smultron. Smultron is a decent text editor. It's available in the Mac App Store. You can use whatever text editor you're comfortable with, but I'm using that one. And the Python scripts that I will create, these snippets of code that will help me download episodes, categorize them, put them in databases and so on, they are essentially text files with the suffix of .py. To signify that they are Python source code. And I will need an editor to create these, to maintain them, to get some semblance of order. I will put them in a folder, and they will be able to reference each other and things like that as we move along and increase the complexity of what we want to do. Then we need some way to transcribe the episodes. There are many services out there that will take an audio file and create a text based on that audio file. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. Your popular meeting apps like Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, they all have the ability to do that already. But my absolute favorite when it comes to transcription is Mac Whisper. And Mac Whisper is a standalone application. You can use it for free, but if you want the really cool features, you have to pay either a subscription, I think, or a one-time fee. The one-time fee is roughly $20-30 or equivalent in euros, which is ridiculously small for what you get here. The developer, Jordi, behind this app is also actively improving it all the time and has a very impressive roadmap of features just coming. So that's one of the things I'm actually counting on in this project, is that the Mac Whisper app will be able to do some things in the near future that it cannot do at this moment. When I record this video, this is December 23. So the Mac Whisper app, you can either download it through the Mac App Store, or you can buy it directly from the developer's webpage. And I will post links down below where you can find this software. I have no idea how to do this on a PC, but I'm sure that there is software there. If you have tips on how to do it on a PC, please post in the comments so that others might try them out. This software is of course based on a number of models that exist for transcribing, because that's AI as well. And the Mac Whisper software is using the transcription models from OpenAI, and they are called Whisper. That's why the app is called Mac Whisper. And the Whisper models, they range from small and fast to large and slow. And they are capable of doing hundreds of languages and a bunch of other things. I want high quality as possible, so I'm using what's called the Whisper Large model. And the Whisper Large model is a very, very capable model. Actually, the transcription you see of this video is made in the Whisper software. I've played with it now for a number of months, and it really, really does the job very well. It's also capable of batch transcriptions. So I can basically point to a folder, say, okay, transcribe these 350 episodes and put the results in this folder over here. That's something I'm working on right now to do. I'm doing it during the night because my computer becomes really slow otherwise if I try to work at the same time I do these transcriptions. And that's also one of the best things about this software. It downloads the model itself, which is a bunch of gigabytes, not that much. It downloads the model into your computer, and once it's there, you can disconnect it from the internet and you can still do transcriptions. All the transcriptions are done locally on your computer. So yes, it's a bit slower, but it's the perfect tool. Let's say you're transcribing interviews. You're doing your master thesis, or you're doing research, or you're a journalist doing interviews, and you don't want some cloud service performing your transcriptions because it might be confidential information. It might be personal data. You might violate GDPR, things like that. With a tool that's run locally on your computer, you can do whatever you want. So that's one of the main, I think, really cool features about this software. So we have the scripting environment. I'm using Python. I have a decent text editor, Smultron. I have a transcription app to convert audio files into text. And the fourth piece of this initial puzzle, and that's the only thing I need a decent app to manage the database that I will create. Now, the database is very, very simple. It's one big table, basically, where each row is one episode of the podcast, and each column is a piece of data connected to that row. So without going too complex, I'm using either Excel or Google Sheets, and both of them would work in this case. I happen to have Excel installed on my computer, so I maybe use that, but Google Sheets is much better if you want to use the data online, for instance. But the basic functionality is to create a matrix with data, and that's a normal spreadsheet app. You can use max numbers as well, because the output of the Python scripts will be in comma separated value CSV files, and that can be imported into Excel, Google Sheets, Numbers, or whatever spreadsheet app you want to use. So those four pieces of the puzzle are now in place on my computer. I've done like the cooking shows. I've already prepared this environment. So please hit subscribe below and join me on this journey. I'm converting my podcast into an AI, and these are the first very tentative and very basic steps, but I assure you things will become extremely more advanced and extremely cool in the end. So bye for now.